Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Well, I didn't think I would ever have to do a video on this, but everyone else seems to be doing one, so I'm going to come up with our own little angle. And this is based on current events, something that just recently happened. So today we're going to spend a few minutes talking about how much force can I use if somebody insults my wife in Washington State. Okay, before we get rolling, you guys know the drill. If you like this video, go ahead and click that like button. If you want to stay up to date on issues related to your Second Amendment or self-defense rights, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Click the little bell logo if you want to be notified when we post new videos. And most importantly, let's keep the comments and discussions coming. That's how we're going to make sure we're getting our videos out to more lawful and responsible gun owners like yourself. Okay, Dateline, March 27th, 2022, Hollywood, California, the Dolby Theater on beautiful Hollywood Boulevard. I know most of you were not watching the Oscars because, candidly, nobody watches the Oscars anymore. But for once in a long time, something newsworthy actually occurred at the Oscars. And without any further ado, let's roll the tape.
You know who's got the hardest job tonight? Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? that was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Uh-oh, Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
It was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? So I could, oh, okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
Okay, so the question for us today now is how much force can we use if somebody is insulting our spouse? Now, as a baseline rule, let's get some agreement on what the law is in Washington State. Now, for those of us who've been geeking out on the channel for a while, we know under RCW 9A.16.020, subsection 3, we can use any reasonable force necessary to defend ourselves or others in our presence, so long as the force we use is necessary and proportional to the amount of force that we are repelling. We also know under the same statute and various case law that we must be in imminent threat of some type of unlawful force against us before we are allowed to lawfully use force in our defense or defense of another. So the issue for us to decide today is when do I get to use force when somebody else is insulting my significant other? And the answer to that question, and I thought this was fairly obvious, is never. Because in the situation, no matter how tasteless the comments may be, whether they are a joke about someone who's losing their hair, or even more tasteless comments, and our imagination can run wild with all of the tasteless things that a person could say about our spouse. But under no situation will words legally justify assaulting another person. Under no justification, under no scenario possible, will words justify the use of force against another, unless the words were something to the effect of threatening to harm them, threatening to kill them, and demonstrating that you had the propensity and means to do so. Now we're getting into harassment, felony harassment, but we also have that imminent threat of serious bodily injury being demonstrated by the person's willingness to show their propensity or willingness or ability to do so. But if we're just talking nasty old insults, no matter how tasteless they are, no, we do not have the right to go up and physically assault a person. Now, I'm not saying that in some instances the person doesn't have it coming to them. And certainly we could talk about what morally may be the just thing, but the purpose of Washington gun law is to teach you what the law says. And under this circumstance, no, force is not allowed. Now, had this event occurred in Washington State, Mr. Smith could be facing assault in the 4th degree under RCW 9A.36.041. That statute specifically reads, a person is guilty of assault in the 4th degree if under circumstances not amounting to assault in the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd degree or custodial assault, he or she assaults another. Congratulations to our state legislature for writing a clearly defined statute there. Assault means a harmful or offensive touching, the attempt to commit a harmful or offensive touching, or placing a person in reasonable fear that a harmful or offensive touching is about to occur. In this scenario, we clearly have a harmful and offensive touching. Now, unless this was scripted and consented to by Chris Rock, this was an unconsensual, harmful, and offensive touching by Mr. Smith at the expense of Mr. Rock. That is assault in the 4th degree under Washington law, but you know what? I had a chance to also check the California Penal Code. Now, I get that California can be a little selective in their enforcement of laws, but California Penal Code 242 specifically reads, a battery is any willful and unlawful use of force or violence upon the person of another. And so what you see in California, and you see this in some other states as well, is that the term assault and battery are kind of used interchangeably. Assault is the act in California of placing a person in reasonable fear that a battery is about to occur, or attempting to commit a battery. Once you physically strike the person, in California, that's defined as battery. In Washington State, we just define any of it. The attempt to, placing them in fear, or actually physically striking, any one of them is just going to be deemed an assault in Washington State. So the bottom line is, Mr. Smith, you did not have the right to do it. And as much as you felt morally compelled because of your obligation for protecting so many women worldwide, that striking of Mr. Rock was without lawful justification. Now, it would be very interesting had the same joke been made by, let's say, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson instead of Chris Rock, if Mr. Smith would have been willing to go up there and strike him. And it would have even been more interesting had Chris Rock decided to lawfully defend himself, which he had the right to do, and struck Mr. Smith back. Listen, I'm sure there'll be a lot more developments on this as it relates to what, if any, accountability is going to be taken for this. And candidly, we here at Washington Gun Law will probably not report on this incident again. Listen, if you have any more questions about what to do when someone's insulting your spouse or anything else related to your right of self-defense, don't ever hesitate to contact us at WashingtonGunLaw.com. Or, of course, remember, you can call us directly at 425-765-0487. Now, let's remember, part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here at Washington Gun Law, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching. Stay safe.